I think that at this time, you see a lot of cities across the nation that are grappling with crime and affordable housing. And I've been in the city council now for 5 years, and I absolutely love what I'm doing because you can actually get things done. I spent 2 years in the state legislature where you have to go through parties and caucuses, and it really isn't as effective as what I've seen in the 5 years that I've spent at the city council. I took a leadership step in a lot of issues that we were facing at the city. What I have found is that you have a lot of politicians and not enough public servants. I have taken this job as a city councilwoman full time. I was a businesswoman before that, and that business experience was able to help me as a councilwoman because we had to solve problems. And in city government, we can solve problems and we can get things done. And so I absolutely love being on the city council, and I'm ready for that next step as mayor of Las Vegas. What's important to me is that as a leader, as a city councilwoman, as the next mayor, that I leave the city better off than when I found it, that families thrive. Families have an opportunity to have good education for their children. They can have good paying jobs. One of my goals as becoming mayor of the city of Las Vegas is to make it one of the safest cities in the union. The reason is we have 42 million tourists coming here every year. We have people that shouldn't have to worry about how much security they're putting around their home. My goal as the mayor is to make sure that we're doing everything we can that families can thrive for generations. My father was in the Navy, spent 4 years in the Navy, and I found out after he passed, looking through his documents, he spent another 2 years in the reserves. I didn't know that growing up. My grandfather was in the National Guard, and my husband was and is, once a Marine, always a Marine. Veterans are very near and dear to me because I understand that the sacrifices not only veterans go through, but their families. And we owe them a debt of gratitude that we can never repay veterans. When I was in the state legislature, we were named by the state veterans organizations the most friendly veterans legislature, and that was in 2015. And as a councilwoman, I think it's very important that with our new Civic Plaza as mayor, I've already spoken to our city manager. I would like an office in our plaza dedicated to veteran volunteers that they can help other veterans. One of the reasons that I'm so passionate about recovery and I'm passionate about the homeless issue is because we find veterans that are living in the tunnels and living on the street, and that's not acceptable. But you know what? We can make a difference in the things that we're already doing by supporting services, wraparound services at our corridor. And I'm going to make sure that we continue to do that. We just did a recuperative care center in the city for those people that end up in the hospital for wounds or for injuries. And instead of having them go back on the street before they're fully healed, we have put up a recuperative care center so that they have a place to go to completely heal. I will continue to make sure veterans are a priority. When we were hit with COVID and they weren't going to do the flag in Boulder City, I was asked to raise money to make sure that we continued that service to our veterans. And so I did, but we were able to show that we're still there and we still care. We have a lot of different programs that we're doing right now at the city, and we're also partnering with a lot of different groups that are available. They're on our website. We have to do a better job of letting them know. And that's why it's so crucial to have the Corridor of Hope, where there's case managers. We also work with our partners in Shine a Light, Crossroads, Vegas Stronger, so that we are making sure that veterans have an opportunity to know about every single service that's available to them. And we're going to continue that. We're going to do more PR on it because I think it's really important that people don't have to ask where they can go for these services, but they're available. We just have to make sure that our veterans and those working with us know about them. I'm going to continue making sure that we are working with our partners, Shine a Light, Vegas Stronger, and all the other ones out there that are going out and trying to bring people in for services. Because we know that, as I said, there are veterans that are suffering from PTSD, so they might be in addiction. But that's really important to me. Last week, I went out into the tunnels with Shine a Light. And, you know, this is something that is really near and dear to my heart. And so we have to continue to make sure that we're providing services, that we're working with our partners. I want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to get that information out on the internet to all our partners, because there is services available and we do offer help, and we'll continue to offer help, and we'll continue to go after those grants that help our veterans. But I think the key thing is when our Civic Plaza opens up in the next 6-7 months, that office is available for veterans. And again, I've spoken with our city manager, and I want to make sure that we secure that so they have a place to go. Well, I think the first thing that we need to do is diversify the economy, which in the 5 years that I've spent in the city, I've made sure that I'm available to reach out to companies that want to come to Las Vegas and they want to bring their business here. And we offer so many incentives with our economic development department. And I think it's important. We are ripe for bringing in manufacturing. We have land available in all of our economic opportunity zones to give those tax incentives. So I will continue to reach out to those companies that are looking for a place. We're competing against states like Texas and Florida, but we have so much more to offer here. We're a world-class city. And so it's important for me as a leader to reach out to them, bring them here, and show them what we have to offer. I love small local businesses because that was something that I did for many years. Those are the bread and butter of our economy. And one of the things that I've done as a councilwoman to support small businesses is make sure that I bring them to City Hall, or I go out to their business and do a filming of their business and advertise it on our social media. And the reason I do that, first of all, is so that they know who their council member is, so they can reach out to me for services or information or help with any kind of issues they're having as a small business. The second reason is to give them a little bit of advertising and let them know that we at the city care about them, because small businesses are the bread and butter of our economy. So while we're looking to bring new business in, we have to always remember that our small businesses are already here and giving us revenue to do the services that we need. And so we need to be extremely supportive of anyone who spends their life savings to invest in a business. I know how hard it is. I was a businesswoman for over 23 years, and you go through struggles. And so we just want to say at the city, we're here to help. Well, that's where the law and order comes in, and making public safety number one. We don't want people to read about us across the country like we read about other cities just grappling with crime or homelessness. We want people to look at us as a world-class destination. We have great sports teams. We have the best entertainment in the world. We have world-class restaurants. We have Red Rock, where you can go hiking, and yet we have an urban part of the city. It is so diverse here and offers everything for any type of tourist or someone who wants to move here. So it's really important for me to continue to support our law enforcement, because when we saw the riots happening across the country during COVID, we shut it down, because we have an amazing law enforcement here in Southern Nevada. And we as a council and local government support them 100%. As a city council member and as mayor, I know how important it is to be a city that people want to come to, and they want to know that when they come, they're going to be safe. And so public safety has and always will be number one for me. Transparency and accountability has been very important to me, and I've proven that as a councilwoman. I've held the city accountable and made sure that one of the things that I want to continue is the audit committee. I chair the audit committee. It's a place where we can audit our departments and make sure we're doing everything we can to be transparent and accountable. One of the things that we just recently did was create a fraud line, a hotline, and it's anonymous so that people will feel comfortable if they feel that something is happening in the city that they want to report. I think it's important for people to know that government is transparent. I think it's important for people to trust their government officials. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart. You have a clear choice in this mayor's race of someone who doesn't want us to end up like our neighboring cities, someone who is law and order, someone who supports law enforcement, someone who cares about public safety and will spend time to make sure that we're doing everything we can to tackle the issues and not kick them down the road. We need a leader. We need a bold leader because we are a world-class city. We're a growing city. And I just think you have a clear choice right now of someone who has a proven record of not only getting things done, but has the institutional knowledge and experience to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure your quality of life is the one you deserve. I would like to tell them, first of all, thank you for your service. I'm not going to give up on making sure that you get the quality of life that you deserve. I will do everything I can to make sure that we're taking care of our veterans. I have spent my life around veterans, as I mentioned earlier, my grandfather, my father, my husband. It is important for me to continue the work that I'm doing with veterans. We do the memorial over at the lakes. We go down to the Boulder City to do the flags. That's not enough. I have the energy to make sure that we're doing more as your leader, and we're going to make sure that we're taking care of all our veterans. As I said earlier, I've been out in the tunnels. I will be there for veterans, whether it's going down and talking to them and getting them into services, or whether it's doing events with them, or just simply going to the Civic Plaza and helping the volunteers in finding out what they need. I just want to thank Veterans World Magazine for all you do for veterans, and I'm here when you need me.